Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Reynaldo, but you guys could call me Reynamations. For some odd reason my camera is not set up correctly. Odd. Let's see if I can fix that really quickly. Nope, that's not it. There, fixed it. Anyways, let's get started with today's video. We are back to animating the squirrel climbing up a tree, and so far what we got is this. We got the tree, the camera moving upwards slowly, and obviously the background is blue. I set it up so it would be blue. Normally when I first did this animation, I had the camera set up so the background will be white, and then I get to this point where it just sits, and then the squirrel will be right there. Then afterwards I did a background, which will be this grass, which looks really nice, but it takes up so much computing information. Like it slows down the computer so much, as you can see by the video itself. All of a sudden slowing down, that I had to hide it for the meantime. See, now that it stops, it's no longer as slow. If anything, let me hide the grass, and then all of a sudden the video just goes back to being equally as fast as it used to be. Now this is important to find out, because if the grass is the thing that is mainly slowing down the render, like let's see if I take out the tree and I put back the grass, does it still slow down the camera? And it looks like it does. So it's important to find all that out, because what I'm gonna end up doing as a result of all of this happening is that I can only animate with the tree there. So to help me speed up the render, I will have to make the tree into an image plane, and then re-import it onto Blender as like an image plane, but with a background, and then afterwards put it in exactly the same spot as the other image one at the of the other one is. And right afterwards I would what's it called, make sure after it's rendered and placed in the right position and everything like that, I I'll delete the grease pencil drawing that I did, but keeping in mind all of this is being done in Blender, so you can pull this off. It's just it is easier sometimes to have some drawings like the background and all that being done in a different software that can handle it. In my case, Blender can handle it. It's just when I'm recording and when I'm trying to animate the squirrel, it's too taxing on the computer. My computer's a Mac. And if you guys are wondering what type of device I am using, I am actually using a XP pen tablet, which normally is pretty fast, but for some odd reason for this it's slow. But that's after obviously a lot of work has been done on it. If there's very little work on it, then it's pretty fast. Okay, well, let's start off by exporting this as an image plane. First things first, we don't need the background, and we just need the tree. So I set up this camera angle off screen, so it renders the majority of the tree, not this bottom part, because this bottom part is probably not even gonna be visible to see. See? It gets cut off anyways. So what I'm planning to do, and I mean some of the top part gets cut off, so I could potentially just do that and then just render as much of the bottom as I can, probably all the way up to there. Oh, nope. And then press I, location. And what I'm planning to do is just render out this one frame. So make sure to extend the animation so it at least can reach all the way there. I think I added a frame in the wrong spot. Okay. And then obviously I'll go back to 150 because that's the max amount of frames that we're doing for this animation. A lot of it, like I think after it gets to this point, it won't have a lot. Oh, and you guys didn't see the squirrel. It's this little guy right there. So you have the size for the squirrel and everything, and then just, if you play this one, it kind of looks, it's almost transparent, but it slowly moves like like what's it called, storyboarding animation, and then it just stops there and it just looks off to distance, looking for a new horizon or something. I don't know. Anyways, let's get back to what we were trying to do. Go here, and what I'm planning to do is just render out this image right here without any of the squirrel. If anything, go right here so I can kind of see what could get rendered. Okay, render will be this one, little camera, so I could see what's gonna get rendered. And I don't want to render this or this yet. I could have it visible, but it won't render it, and to save up obviously on processing speed, let's have it visible. So you can go here and then press render. When you go to the camera, make sure it's on Eevee, and I think the settings somewhere down here. And I pause the recording just really quickly so I can figure out the setting and then show it to you guys. Shoot. excuse me, tube. I'll call it Squirrel Animation YouTube, and then under Squirrel Animation YouTube, I'll have it be put here, and I'll call it the name of the picture will be called Tree. And then I'll press accept, and then under output, PNG will be good because PNG does accept transparency, so that's good. And I'll just go up here to render settings, and then I'll just go render image. That should be pretty quickly, although I did notice that there is this little one dot in the corner, hopefully right there, but I could get rid of that really easy. I just take it onto like Sketchbook Pro and then erase and then say go back. So, or I could just erase it and then redo that. For that, I'll have to go all the way to the first frame. Or you know what? Go into draw mode on the object, right? And just erase it. Obviously, it added a keyframe for it, which is gonna mess it up in the future, but because it's just gonna be momentarily and this is gonna get deleted anyways, it won't mess it up at all. So press F12, which I'm pretty sure is to render the image, as you can see in the little bottom corner, and it starts rendering. By the way, that's a shortcut if you guys didn't know that. So now that it's done rendering, we can exit out of that, and what we're gonna do is hide the tree first, or you know what, keep the tree there, and then we're gonna press Shift A. There we go, up to object mode. Shift A. Let's see if there's anything that says import image, reference, background, image as plane. So I'm gonna import image as plane, and then I'm gonna go to Squirrel Animation, and for some odd reason it is not there. Miniatures house. Let's see. Import animated image sequence. Relative path. Force reload. Set up camera pen. Overwrite material. Emit. For some odd reason it's not there, but let's take a look at the files. It should be here though. I don't know why it's not, so I'm gonna take a look at it really quickly. That's really odd. Sorry guys. Hey, this sort of things take a while to figure out sometimes. And I have the settings later on, so then next time I pause the video, if it's possible, I'll pause the music for you guys, so then it doesn't sound so weird, because for me it just sounds fine, but that's because I have all the music playing continuously. But for you guys it must sound kind of weird. It's like the music just stops and then starts again. Yep, it's not there for some odd reason. Odd. Cancel. Let's see if we could figure out this under the right file. Output. File extensions. Saving file extension. Get your results. Placeholder image is. Let's have it be compression, no compression. Color depth, I'll have it be 16. RGB, because I don't want to. It is set up to be rendered. I don't know why it's not showing it. F12. Let's try that again. Oh, sorry for that. Render results. And then if I go here, see, there's nothing there for some odd reason. Render results. New image, create new image. Open image, open image. Image, new, open, save. Let's press save. For some odd reason, if you don't want to save it, tree. Alright, that worked. Definitely. Sorry if I sounded like I was yelling at that moment. Alright, so let's try this again, where I import the image by pressing Shift A, and then go on image, import image as plain, and if I go to the squirrel animation, there it is, import image as plain. This, okay, cool. And then see how far it is, exactly in the same spot, 0, and then I'm gonna scale this up until it's exactly the same size as the other one. Or it's exactly the same size as the camera. G on the X. Since this is the camera, it should have been aligned perfectly, but it's not even centered to it. So it's a lot of tweaking. I think that is the last amount of scaling I have to do, right? Let's see. Scale a little bit more. Looks like it matched up there. G on the Z. Move it up. Right there. And then scale it up a tiny amount. Okay, so that is accurate in that side. So I'll press G on the X, and then if I align it with this corner, it should be almost aligned. There. Now it should match the tree exactly. Now if we go and zoom into, like, for example, this part of the tree, right? Any part of the tree, right? And then we hide this one, like the tree that we drew. That's the result that we get. Oh my god, that looks horrible. The quality. It looks like it's slightly shifting to the side. This one looks like it's higher up by a tiny amount. And the colors are not vivid enough. I wonder why that is. Let's see. Go here. And it should, maybe it was this thing. So because it was being compressed. Let's take a look at the settings. there any way to edit the picture? Maybe it's on the materials. Or maybe I go to item and then just see the location and everything like that, and I keep all that and then re-import a new one. Image as plain. This time make sure that it glows, so it's an emitter. Because right there it looks a lot more colorful than the one that we have right there, so it's definitely something that I did. Plane dimensions, camera, fill, for I was almost exactly there. Oh, interesting. With both of them, it looks really cool. Let's put both of these ones on like a, what's it called? A group or something like that. A new collection. I'll call this tree. And then I'll take both of these ones and then just bring them down to tree, so that I can hide and unhide that. That way I can compare and contrast this compared to this. Let's take a look. It's like, I like it, but I think the lines on the original, maybe it's because it has two. Why is it so foggy? So I go to any of the frames, right? Is it foggy in any of them? Odd. So every frame will get rendered out with like this nice lines. Why is the color so crappy though? That's so weird. Maybe it's on the material. Tree use. Roughness. Sure. Do we have it 100? No. I didn't do anything. Metallic? Nope. No metallic whatsoever. Specular? Nope. Surface? Base color? Surface? Subsurface? Yeah. 0 and 0. Enter. 0, enter. It shouldn't have any subsurface. Screen tint. Interesting, like this, it looks like just black and white. I'm trying to make it look pretty vivid, vibrant to me. Kinda like the line work there, but I want it to be very vibrant. I wonder if there's a way to get that to work. Let's see if I bring it up. There's a tiny up. I think that's as good as I could get it to perform. Volume. Okay. And Blender's having a little meltdown there for a second there. Trying to go back. Trying to make sure it doesn't have any toons shading. Except for the tree that I drew, I could get rid of it. I don't have to delete it. So that saves me on some render time. Let's take a look. It looks blurry right now, which is kind of weird, but I think it's because it's being rendered as it goes. Like if I go here, see? It still looks blurry. I wonder why that is. Like if as soon as I pause it, it looks really nice. I guess it's like they make it blurry just to make sure that it could go through correctly. As long as, you know, I can kind of see frame by frame stuff. I think that's what the important part is, right? Let's see if we can work with the grass without my screen glitching out on me. Let's see. Okay. So far it looks like the grass all of a sudden is in front, which we don't want that, obviously. And it's still glitchy. Thinking. G. Okay. Why is it blocking it? Does grease pencil objects have like? You want to share that? Perhaps that's fine. I don't want any Pokemon right now, just letting you know. But I don't mind eating some later. So I'm eating popcorn. Let's go back to zero. I want to see what's going on here. By this point, should be image sharpen. Grass equally to the plane. I'm gonna figure out the settings for importing that image, so then if this ever happens, it'll be exactly like it. Offset planes. I don't want to offset the planes. Fix. And let's, instead of having it emit, it'll be shadeless, meaning the shadows won't affect it or anything. Let's have this tree be hidden. And it seems, isn't that weird how like right now the color looks a lot better than before. It's like if I need all three of them to be together just to make the same amount of color I can't even say the right word. And see. See, now that looks a lot better. And then when you pause it at any point, the lines look really nice though. That's the kind of color I wanted. So now that the tree is taken care of, man, to think it takes like 3 items just to get the same result. That's insane. Now, I need to figure out a way to go about doing the grass. So what I'm thinking is, for the grass, let's go back to the grass. Now I know it has a modifier. So what I could do is I'll have this one be unrenderable. I'll take all of this out. So then when I put the grass back on, it should not slow it down as much. And it still slows it down. Yeah, I could definitely see it's being slowed down. So it's definitely this. Because even without the tree, look, I still slowed down. So I need to figure out a way to get that grass to be less taxing on the computer. Because right now I'm moving decently fast, not slowing down. The perks of seeing everything go through a process, right? Or the process of everything. I remember back in the good old days, whenever you used to go to a certain area, you could just press E and then it will extrude the timeline to that point. I wonder if there's a shortcut key for that. Yeah, for this, I go on to 7, and I bring back the grass. I know that there's a setting. Where if I press 7 or something like that, right? Is it Alt 0? Or Shift? No, it's not that. Command 0. That's not it either. I know that there's a setting for this where you can have the camera be at the same position that you are right now. I'll just go to view and then I'll just go to item. I'll put the position all the way on 0, or better yet, you see, Alt G, Alt R. So it rotates it on a 0 axis, and now just press G, no, that's H. I need to make it slightly darker. I'm using Blender settings to move around already. Space. This one. That's how you could tell I got used to Blender. I was trying to move around or panel around using a different software. Now you could use this do the very similar results somewhere else, but I'm using Sketchbook Pro because it's a free software. So I'm just gonna be passing this brush around like that, randomizing the pattern. Hopefully that works. And turning it dark, maybe adding another layer. So the way that it's gonna be done is it's gonna get closer to the middle, and then it's gonna do this sort of thing. So let's add some little hashes. Maybe make it darker. Oh yeah. No, it's not really very good looking grass. Definitely seen better looking grass elsewhere. But the whole entire idea is to take all these layers, right? And essentially, after it's done, everything. Let's say I take all of this, right? And then what's it called? I make sure that they're set up to be grouping the layer, right? I could take this group layer, and when I'm working with the software, it's gonna be flat, right? No rotating. So this part goes down as much as possible. Let's see if I bring out the corners. Also look. I think I've done better grass than this before. That looks horrible. I wonder if there's a way that I could do this really efficiently, because I know I've done this before and done it very well too. Maybe if I just experiment. So maybe experiment with your own textures. I'm gonna experiment with this one, so I'll pause it for the meantime so it's not so long for you guys. So I worked on this little animation thing that after creating this sort of grass, I used some pictures from online to get this result. But it's very scratchy, so you could probably create it yourself if you tried. And then I did this gradient right here of a hard light after doing all of the effects I wanted to do. You can see right here all the little layers I worked on it. With, and I wanted it to stand out, so glow. I put a glow on it. And afterwards, I have two frames for it. One that's slightly off, like the top is like slightly to the side, and the other one does not. So what I'm planning to do is have this on Blender, and then just have it be paneling through those frames, like 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. But I'll give it every 2 frames. It starts, it moves to the next one, then it goes back. It goes back to the next one, and so on and so forth. And if I could get that to work, then that should replace all the grass movement that is taking up so much of the speed when it comes to rendering. I was planning to work on the squirrel, but it seems like this will be a three-parter, which I was hoping it wouldn't be, but it is coming out to be. So first things first, you're gonna save the first image. Obviously save as, and I'm gonna save this under the same file. Not reference pack. Squirrels. Nope. Where the heck is it? Gonna work. To the animations, animation YouTube, and then I'll save it under here, and then I'll make sure it is a JPEG or PNG. Either one works. So, but right here we have PNG, so I'll go with PNG. Although JPEGs have better resolution from my understanding, so I should render this one as a JPEG. Maybe that will help me out. And then I'll call this grass frame 1, grass frame 1, and I'll save that, and then I'll hide that, hide that, and then save as, not save, save as. And then this one will automatically go to frame 2. Make sure it's also a JPEG, like the last one, and then press save. And because this is obviously a file for something, I'll just save as, and then I'll make sure all of this is saved also, so in case we wanted to edit it, we can. I'll call it frames work, and then save that. And then we can exit out of that, go back onto Blender, and what I'm planning to do is this time make sure everything's set up, go back to the first frame, go back to 150 frames, press Shift A, add an image, and then I'll add a image plane, and then I'll go to Squirrel animation on YouTube, and then I'll go to animate image sequence, relative path. Okay. I wonder if I take all of those out, image sequence, 3, 4, and then it substitutes too. But I take this and this, import planes. So if I press dot, it should show it to me. Where's that? Rotate 90 on the X. Let's unhide the tree. So make sure everything's perfectly aligned. Okay, so obviously the tree is a lot lower than everything. So to make sure everything is correct, we're gonna be working on the first frame. And let's take a look at where the grass is. I don't see the grass there. Okay. Alt G, and then I'm gonna scale this majorly, and then press G on the Z, like Z or Z, whichever one you want, and put it down here. Look at that, it really looks a lot better. This has to be behind the tree. Either that, or I just press G and then go even lower than the tree. Let's see how high this grass was supposed to go. Oh, the grass looks a lot different. It's more browns. This one's more green. Which is an easy edit, but I'm not gonna work with it. Rotate X. It says, oh, it's visible. So now, when we got through the frames, it's clearly not big enough to cover up everything. Because after a certain amount of frames, it's already looking like it's moving a lot smoother. The image doesn't seem like it's paneling through the keyframes, which is kind of odd. Man, I don't even like this image. After putting it on, isn't that funny? I just don't like it. I had to figure out a way to get all the footage from the regular one, the regular grass, to be in it. So that's what I'm gonna do. The squirrel, hide it. Make sure that this and this are the only things that are visible, the grass. And make sure I'm gonna render it out, and I'm gonna render it out while it's pausing recording so it doesn't slow down so much for you guys out there. So I just finished animating that part that I wanted to, and just like in the other picture that we did earlier, where you will go about making an image transparent in the background. In this one, let me make it easier for you guys to kind of see. See here. I thought I saw it here. I'll have it marked down like that. Let's hide it for now so you guys can kind of see what I did. So if I go to render and I just go to view animation, so far this is what I got done. If it allows it to play, it is playing at a different screen. It's opening it up. It says rendering it out. Let's see, if I go to the second screen, you guys can kind of see that. See, it's just moving around. It's very quick. It's just like a couple seconds long, right? 4 or 5 seconds long. And the whole entire area that's black is actually supposed to be transparent. So after this part is done being rendered, using the same technique that we did earlier, where we rendered out the what's it called, the tree, we used that method, but instead of making it as JPEGs, I did it as FFmpeg. You'll see right here. If I go all the way here to the output, FFmpeg video, right there. Now you should have the FFmpeg thing downloaded onto your devices. If not, there should be websites out there where you can find it. And now that that is done, what I can do is hide it for now, right? And now that I'm in Frame 0, I'll just press Shift A, and then this one I'll go image as plain, right? And then I'll just take this, import image as plain, press G on the X, and then G, X, 0, G, X, and then I'll just align it. Why is it taking so long? Why is the background like that? It's kind of weird that it's black. It's supposed to be transparent. Does it play? It is playing, but there is a problem with it, and that's probably somewhere in the materials. So this material is messed up right there. So I'm gonna go to, let's see, general. I think it is texture paint. No, it is shading. Yeah, shading. So I'm gonna take this and take a look at everything right here. Okay, right now, transparent. For some odd reason, it is being connected to that or mix shader. I don't like that. This, what is this? Delete that. Delete that. Delete that. Shift A, and then I'll put. It should be an emitter. So color, shader. If it loads, for some odd reason, it's taking its lovely time. Is there a emitter type? You know what, I'll just type it up. Emission. So for color, you connect color to that, and for some reason to that, and then to that, and then surface. Let's see. under texture, image, texture. And then it should be this one. Disconnect that. Delete. I wonder why it's all black though. It makes no sense. If it's a... Oh, did I put... let me see. RGB. Do FMM pegs now have like transparent backgrounds? Transparent. Okay. Give me a sec. So it turns out that I did it incorrectly. For some odd reason, because that's an FMM peg, it does not contain transparency, or at least that's from what I can tell. I tried different techniques, and what I can figure out is I could use this principled BSDF, and then I connect the alpha and alpha, the regular color to the surface, and it should work. I have the plane right there, and what I'm planning to do is just have it move on the x-axis, not on the y-axis, just slightly back, and then press 0. Make sure it is scaled up a little. Now the reason why I'm scaling it is to get it to fit the frame. And now that it fits, and now I had to re-render everything all over again, but make sure this time it's not as a what's it called, a FMM peg, but as JPEGs, no, PMGs, but it will be like I'll be importing it as an image sequence, and you guys will get to see that happen too. So there's a lot of trial and error in this, and that's like the best thing about learning. This is why this is not a tutorial on how to animate. This is my way of animating it. You get to see all the mistakes I make, all the great things that happen while I'm doing it, and if you get to learn anything, is things that I'm learning along the way that would definitely help me out and might help you out. Anyways, I'll pause it for the meantime for you guys. As you may have noticed, there's no music. I took it off for the meantime because I got tired of hearing it over and over, and I'm assuming you guys probably got tired of hearing it over and over. And it's kind of late, so I don't want to call it a night, because then this will be a 3-parter. So I'm gonna render it and then finish this part out, and maybe I think it will end up being a 3-parter, sadly. But at least we'll get the main things out of the way, which is making them as image planes and then exporting them, and you get to see different techniques and how I go about it, and yeah, hopefully you're having fun. Well, it has finished. This is the final result. Let's take a look at this. Oh, how did I make it big? Okay. So basically, I have it set up now. So then, if I could import that image as a plane. Let's hide that, and go back to where we were, what we were doing prior to that, and it was on this. Make sure it's visible. click on it, and then now we click here and press new. Open. And then we're gonna go all the way to where it says Squirrel Animation YouTube. Nope, it'll be, is it Squirrel Animation? Yeah, it's Squirrel Animation YouTube. And then grass. And I just picked the first one. Open. And it should open exactly the right size. Not too big, not too small. Alpha should be set. Everything's set. And I don't know why, but it's not showing me the alpha going through. And let's see if it's something with the settings here. Click on this thing. Maybe backface curl. No. Of a blend. This is where we kind of experiment until it goes transparent on us. Opaque. That's where it was before. Municipal. Let's see, alpha hash. It's supposed to be alpha clip. Let's see. Clip threshold. 0.5. Let's take a look at the video that I had just looked at not long ago. The experimental phase kind of sucks sometimes, but that is part of the job, right? Whenever you're trying to learn something, you have to experiment and see what works, see what doesn't, and fix up on your mistakes, correct all the little flaws. Now, Blender Grease Pencil definitely has its fair share of flaws, but that was really loud. Okay, so he brings the images. He makes sure that alpha is set to that. Simple image sequence. And I set start frame rate. No, start frames. That seems correct. And let's see if what does this person do to make it transparent. I'll let you know in a sec. Okay, now I finally got it to work. You may have noticed some major difference. It was cold in my room, so I put on a jacket, and now I can finally close out of that. And we could take a look at the animation, but I don't feel like doing that because that took forever. And I think I figured out the only difference to it was really affecting it. In the output settings, I had it set up to be RGB, where it should have been RGBA. Uh, red, green, and blue, and then this one's red, green, and blue, and alpha. So if you ever need to have alpha related images like PNGs, make sure to pick RGBA. I'll have to make a tutorial where I just show you guys how to export images after this trial and error failing experiment happened. Okay, well, let's get started by first hiding this. I think I could probably get rid of it, but I want to make sure everything works correctly. So first things first, I want to hide that and make sure it is renderable. And voila, all of a sudden it looks like it's transparent. Now you may be wondering, why is it transparent? You haven't uploaded the new image. Well, this image is set up to be grass image, and because I had it set up to grab the one that there was grass image by that same name, what I ended up doing is going onto my files, taking all the old images and then putting them onto tile, no, trial one, and then renaming. All of them got renamed, and all the process went all over again. So frames, you know, do this process. Make sure that it is uh, by frames, but instead of going like uh, going to this part right here where it says image sequence, it would normally say single image. You go image sequence, keep it like that, auto refresh, keep that on so then it changes every single frame. And now when I play it also in this one, I have it set up so then it is pretty far away from the camera. See, that way when I put the tree back, you may notice that it starts being blue first. Okay, so when I put the tree back and it is at its furthest, it is still behind. And I scaled it enough that it's at the same size of the camera. So during the whole entire animation, now when it plays, let's see. It seems like it is playing this, but it is not moving anything. Let's see. Odd. I wonder if I had to click on on all of them to make it a fully image sequence like so. Shading. Let's see if it's an image sequence. Go here. And then click there. Make sure it's that one. All of them will be able to be loaded and stuff. I wonder if I click on this, can I delete it? Delete. I don't really need that. If I take this thing, or just press A, open images. Let's see if it actually opened them all up as an image sequence this time. Yep, see? Now it's playing it little by little. Grass is moving. Camera will be moving. It's kind of slightly slow, but it's not that slow because all it's doing is playing the footage, a pre-rendered footage, and then having the camera move. And it's still a lot faster than the other one because you can see my face is still being able to move throughout all of this, which is really good. Okay, now let's make sure that in this camera we take this thing that we had prior film and then take the transparency off because we don't need that transparency off on anymore. And it seems like it's working pretty well. Good. So that's pretty much it. All I did was export this ones and then figured out how to import them in a way that, they have all the right size, all the right footage, and everything is scaled properly, and everything's at the right spot. The trees took a while to get the right coloring, but that is fine. Nothing that can't be uh, adjusted in the future. I'm thinking instead of it being an emitter, I should have done it being a image texture connected to a. Well, let's see if I could do that. Hide this too, right? And then for the third one, since the same thing, go to shading, so you guys can see the difference in the shading. You see that? That's what how it looks when you have transparency and you have it be set up to be a, what's it called, an emitter, a regular one. But normally it will be this shader, and then it will be the principled BSDF. Take that out, take that to color, and alpha to alpha. And take this out, disconnect that, and it looks exactly the same. Screen tint, specular, roughness, emission. Let's see. I wonder why it rendered so weirdly. Maybe it was transparent to begin with. That would be interesting. You know what? I gotta see if it was using Sketchbook Pro. And first, open it up right here. I'm just gonna check if it was transparent really quickly, which would be under here. It'll be under work, to the animation, Squirrel animation, YouTube. It'll be this one. Open. Now that looks fine. I wonder why does it get changed? Yeah, it does. Because if I have it be purple, then everything changes about it. If I have it be red, see? Or if I have it be yellow, it looks more natural and white. No wonder I couldn't tell that it needed to be duplicated. Okay, so duplicate it a couple times, then merge them. Duplicate it one more time, merge that too, hide that, and then just press save. No, save. And then I'll wonder what do I want to save it as, and then it'll be that PNG like that, save, and then it'll ask me do I want to put in place. I'll say replace. Now this is something you gotta pay attention. Make sure that your images are not transparent. I'm assuming that that was a mess up on my side, on my point of things. So now that that's done, when I go here, and then I go back to that tree. Let's see. It should be this one. Open image. Why is it still reacting like that? It's kind of weird. delete everything from here to there. X, today. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this trees and then press X to delete them. Go back to the first tree, Shift A, shader, and then it'll be the principal BSDF. Not that far away. Surface, Shift A, what's it called? This one will be texture, image texture. Alpha to, where's the alpha? There. And color to base color. And then I'm gonna see here, and it should be not grass. It should be the tree, but I'm gonna just press open. Scroll animation, and it should be this one. And it looks a lot better. Let's see if it works. If it works, then it should look really nice. But for some odd reason, it still looks like it's doing that. Specular, turn the specular down. Yeah, specular down. What about if I make it emitter? Delete. Shift A. Shader. Emission. Color. Surface. Oh, that looks a lot better. But for some odd reason, even though it's doing that correctly, so that's accurate. The principal BSDF should have worked. Maybe it was just taking out its time to load it. Emission. Ten. Maybe halfway. Alpha to alpha. See, that already looks a lot different. What is going on? Why does it not do it correctly? Transmission. Tint. Specular. Specular definitely affects it, but not that majorly. Maybe it has to be like some sort of shadeless material. Roughness. Hmm. What's different between this one and this one? This one. Surface. Oh, RGB. I can't see what. PNG, linear, flat. What about if I go to general and then I go to UV editor, texture paint, no, UV editor. And then I go to here, image, reload. Does this plane have like transparency applied to it, like all the way? It has to, but why is it so transparent? Hmm. It's a lot of trial and error. A lot of trial and error. Seems like this time the grass came out nice. But for some odd reason this one doesn't want to like highlight the transparency at all correct. It is a PNG, so it should work. Yet the transparency is like even through the tree. Like you could see it right there happening. But I know that I fixed up the image so it didn't have the transparency. So why is it still showing me transparency there? Shading. Alpha, alpha. I'm gonna check this out. If I try grass, right? That grass seems to work. It doesn't seem to. That one also works. What the heck is this? See, that has transparency also. That also has transparency. See, all of these ones have transparency, and the image looks nice. I don't know what they're from, but I have them. Tree. Repeat. Clip. Flats. Box. Sphere. Cube. Single image. What about if I have image sequence set it up? No, that's not it. Maybe something with the material that I'm missing. Alpha blend. Alpha clip. Did it work? I'm on the tree. Like the other one. This one has alpha clip. Now this one has alpha clip. Alpha. Linear flat beat. to no emission. Everything to 0. Oh, that's the grass one. And that's the tree. Grass one has it on roughness 0.5. So far, everything seems to be the same. The only difference, let's see what it is. It's the texture, that thing right here. Clip threshold. I wonder if it's getting affected by the light. Is there any lights here? There isn't. So it should not be that way, from my understanding. Why is that back on? It has alpha clip, right? And when did it come back on? That's so weird. Was it as soon as I changed it? Oh wait, did I change the wrong one? Grass. Oh, that makes sense. I was like, what the heck? This happened. So the color is there. The alpha should be there too. So if I go to base color, it should be the right color. Why is it not the right color? Why does it turn blue? That's a question. Base color. Let's take it off alpha. What about if I do this? I go to shader, and then I go to emission, connect it there, and then emission straight to surface. Take that out. Right? So the emission works. Now, all I need is the alpha. Right? Shift there. And then it will open mix shader. of that and Shift A. Transparent BSDF. That looks kind of cool, but not the result that I wanted. Mm. Diffuse. Okay. Mix shader. Let's add the mix shader there. Let's see if that worked. Kind of. Disney base color to the right profile. And oh, it's working, except it has a very thick outline around it. A very weird outline around it. Hmm. Weird, because if I take this out, right? If I just connect this straight to here, but then I just change the emission to 1, it wouldn't work. It does not work whatsoever. But if I do this surface, and then I keep the emission strength to 0, it works. It just gives me really rough, really crappy results. So, still unknown bug happening to Blender right now as we speak. Alpha to alpha. Emission to emission. How about that? I said it would be that. I'll have it be like this. It messes up there, so that emission is messed up. Base color works. Emission does not. I need to figure this out. Sometimes it's gonna have this sort of problems. Let's have it be more one way than the other, or have it be what's that? So the alpha does not apply until it goes past 0.50%. What about if I go trying to figure out the right balance where the lines are not too thick, but I can still see it. I think that's right. About right. Now if I go to the animation, yeah, that looks fine. If I press play, just take a look. Grass is swaying side to side. And that means that we could take this grass grease pencil and delete it. And now we're just working with the squirrel. So we could take that squirrel and make it a lot taller. So far the camera hasn't been glitching this time around. It's been about almost 2 hours. Damn. This is what happens when you don't have the computer that is meant to work with grease pencil. I'm not used to animating anyways. Like big animations. Even though the channel's called Reynamations, right? You would think I'll be used to that stuff. Click on this. Is the opacity set to low or something? Sketch opacity set to 100. Yeah, I could barely see it for some odd reason. But it is in front, so sure. Oh, here it is. Onion skinning opacity. I'll bring the opacity up higher. Display. Let's have it not use lights. We don't need any more things to slow us down in the future, right? Let's take a look at, well, this is the sketch, right? Let's hide the path. And let's just keep the sketch. I think it just looks really low resolution because of the fact that so I know that there was like a setting here that I could set it up so when I'm doing anything, everything else turns almost invisible. Geometry. Okay. Fade orientation. Just not fade orientation? Onion skinning. Canvas. Fade layers. Fade objects. Objects. Fade the cursor. I don't see the 3 cursor anyways. Scale. Subdivisions. Floor grid. Wasn't there one that showed me everything else? Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know about, right? See, at least this time, even though it looks like it's going slow, it's not going as slow. If I go to draw mode, oh yeah, that's a lot better. In draw mode, you can kind of see the squirrel, the rough frames that I did for the squirrel. That looks like 20 times better. Because now I could be drawing and not have to worry about the colors from the tree and everything getting in the way. Where was this at? Uh, did I do something? I think it was this one. I think it was set up to 100 though. Maybe it wasn't that. Was it this things? Fade layers, fade objects, canvas, opacity, vertex plane. I had it here not long ago. But last time it wasn't doing this. Maybe it's something I have here. I don't know what it was that I clicked that I did to get that to look like that. Activate objects, viewport gizmos, and lights. See light world. Okay, I don't know what I did, but this works a lot better. I could draw. So tomorrow we'll be focusing on it. I'll have to re-edit my other video that I posted and then call it a part 1 out of 3 of animating the squirrel and like this scene, because this took me too damn long to pull off, and it was all just mistakes that I was making. It's probably because I'm tired and stuff, and I recommend that you guys save your work and go to sleep early so then this doesn't happen to you too. Anyways, let me show you guys where I am, my face and stuff. Anyways, thank you all for joining me. My name is Reynaldo. You guys can call me Ray, and thank you all, and goodbye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, consider subscribing or leaving a like. And check out these videos if you enjoyed and stood